In terms of my academic life here, especially the first supervisor I had, was definitely really kind of judgmental and came to our first supervision and our subsequent supervisions with a sense of like, what are you really doing here? Like, just I think there's a sense that if you come from a certain background, so if you're a certain colour, if you're a woman and if you've been to a state school, that you're not really going to know how to write well, the right ways of speaking, the right ways of thinking. The canonization of especially white authors, because I do English, like I spent 2 years basically only reading about white men and white male writers, and I think that just only adds to your sense of like this world isn't really for me. Like I'm reading like Paradise Lost or whatever, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is great, but it's not really written for me, is it?
I mean, the course I'm doing itself, English, is very much like white middle class.
Yeah.
I remember when they first started here, in our year there's maybe 2 people of colour doing English, and the first thing that was said was how unusual this was. I mean, I remember going to lectures and it was exactly the same thing.
I think university is a time when you're trying to like figure out your identity and like figure out like what you want to do with your life. It's like a personal self-reflection time as well as an academic time.
Yeah.
And I think Cambridge really gives you time to do that and deal with things that are like external to academia.
Yeah.
So I feel like here, especially like we're taught just to like read one article and then claim that we're the experts on it and like speak with such authority, and I just find that really uncomfortable because like who are we to be so like entitled with our opinions when we don't really know that much about it.
In first year I spent a lot of time very wrapped up in the internal politics of it all. I think at some point I recognised that if I wanted to, do well in this place, on a course like the course I'm doing, which is PPS, I could actually utilise what is a very distinct, in this environment, perspective and put it into my work. And doing so, I was able to see the beauty in that diversity in a way that I'd never really seen it before. Open something really magical up, and so I've come to see it only as an advantage, because that is the way in which I must see it. The third year media and sociology paper is excellent. So one of the questions was, is black music a critically useful term? Looking at hip hop and like authenticity, like is hip hop black music? The essay was just so much fun. It was so hard, but it was so fun.
Yeah.
And he said the essay was great. And then he was like, yeah, I have no issues, I have no qualms, and this is good. And then it was like 20 past and we had 40 minutes left, and I was like, so can we have a chat about like hip hop? And he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, great. And then we just had like a long, great chat about like hip hop and like what it means and like the political stuff behind it. And then I got an email from him today like, hey, you mentioned this song by Kendrick Lamar, can you give me the title again? And it's like, to think that like our discussion actually like made him think and want to go back and listen me up was like, yeah.
That's incredible.
That was cool.
That's actually my idea of like a supervision made in heaven.
Yeah, I've had loads of those here. Like, I had one on like Nicki Minaj and like the postmodern body.
Are we doing the same course?
Right, like, this is what I'm saying about if I work hard enough, I will always make sure to incorporate experiences that, you will not usually find on those pages and you will not usually find in the reading list.
It might sound a bit lame, but I think I get like a little kick after every supervision. Having done a good essay and gone in there, be able to basically back myself, like some good points, and know I've left my mark or come up with a new idea. I feel like sort of once you've sort of developed your own sort of academic skills, everything sort of falls into place in terms of confidence and feeling like you should be here.
If it's something I find interesting, then it's really nice to like engage with it and think about it more. And I'm like, wow, like I'm connecting with my subject.
Yeah, exactly.
I love my degree. Yes, I'm in the right place. I think once you learn the basics, you can like start to read articles and stuff and be like, this person is wrong. I don't agree. Like, it doesn't even feel like work anymore.